immunology and genetics. And then I realized that what I wanted to do was definitely like in a cancer related topic. And so my PhD is in cancer biology, and I'm currently studying myeloma, which is a blood cancer. And I'm currently studying immune changes in that. So I think it's very important to take your time and try to do as much research as you can to definitely understand if you really like research, because research takes a lot of patience. And yeah, so I think it's very important to know that. Yeah.
Saili, a student would like
Yeah.
to a student would like to know how did you prepare for this examination, all these things, please, because
Yeah.
they are more interested in that.
Yeah.
Please, can you just
Yeah,
put
so
your
I joined a class called Chopra's, and so that was I started in the summer between my just before starting my third year. And so I did a class there, and there were four other people in my batch. So five of us used to go for the class. And then yeah, so then we did, so the two exams that I took were the GRE and the IELTS. Sorry, the TOEFL, sorry.
TOEFL.
And then
TOEFL.
yeah, the TOEFL, yeah. And then so the GRE is good for 5 years, and the TOEFL is good for 2 years. And the TOEFL is strictly English, and the GRE is English and maths. And so I didn't take the subject GRE or anything. And so I took those classes, and then I took 2 or 3 more months to study on my own, which is definitely important. And I think the college was very understanding of the fact that we were studying, and let us take some time off and stuff like that. So that definitely grateful for that. Um, and so yeah, so I would say it took me, I mean, I think the most important thing is there's a vast number of words that you need to learn for GRE. And so you just have to be persistent at that. And consistency is the key for that. But yeah, I would say I took a couple of months to study for that.
we should
Yes, and
inform
did
students,
the
ma'am.
company, being with the company, did it help more? Like group studies really
Yeah,
facilitate?
yeah. So we would, yeah, we definitely went back and forth with trying to practice words and trying to trying. I think it helps to speak and use them in a sentence, and so you get them in context, and so that's a good way to remember. Just rote learning is obviously it's very, you're not going to remember anything. So
Right.
uh,
Now let us
and
open the
The TOEFL is pretty straightforward. The TOEFL is speaking, writing, reading, and what's the other one? Speaking, writing, reading.
yeah.
There's another one. I don't remember what it is, but yeah, it's four. It's basically divided up into four parts, um, and that's pretty straightforward. Like if you have a baseline understanding of the language, it should be okay.
Yeah. So I think we should open the forum to students.
Yeah,
Students, you can unmute yourself and start asking questions if you have
yeah.
got brief idea about how the journey of her was.
Hello, ma'am. Can I start?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Please mention your name.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, Saili. This is Neil here from final year BPharm.
Hi, Neil.
Hi. So actually, I have been preparing for my GRE. So the thing is, because of COVID, it's getting postponed. It was on 2nd May. Now it's postponed to 29th May and stuff. So what even I want to go for pharmacology only. So the thing is, I will have a 1 year time period. Like once I give my application in August, I will have a time period of 1 year to go to the university, right, in fall 2022. So what thing should I be doing in that time that can help my life over there? Like something that I should be doing in my free time right now in the 1 year gap that I will get, that can be beneficial for me in the US or in Europe, wherever I go.
Yeah, so I mean, the most important thing is, do you want to get into research, or do you want to do like business admin or something of the sort, like after pharmacology? What is your, I
So
think based
yeah,
on
that
that, you pick up
was one
on.
more question that I wanted to ask you, like how you got, see, the thing is, I am a little bit research oriented also, but the fact that you mentioned that it requires a lot of patience, and I will get to know that once I reach there and once I start, discovering what my passion is. Right now, it's pharmacology, but going into research or business, that I wanted to ask, like, once we go there, once the 2 years masters is done, after that, do we get some time to, explore what our interests might be, or everything should be one after the other in a holistic way, fast, fast, fast?
I think the fact that you have 1 year now is definitely good, and I think it's important for you to bide your time. I think one way to kind of do both things would be maybe to pick up courses on Coursera, which is a free platform online, um, for some business stuff. So that's something you can do, and then alongside maybe try to get an internship or like a 1 year research position somewhere. Um, I think that way you can do both things, and then you have both those skill sets. And so when you move overseas, then you will have done, because there's no practical business stuff you can do at this point in a pandemic, right? Like you can't go to work and stuff like that. But I'm assuming some research facilities are open. So maybe one good way to figure out if you actually like research is um, kind of try to get an internship for a year and then do some like business courses on the side. And so after so since like all our courses fall under the STEM umbrella, so you have 3 months after you complete your degree to find a job. So what you do is usually people start interviewing and finding a job in their final semester, and then there's a lot of paperwork, like you have to apply for a lot of different things. So I wouldn't say as an international student we have the luxury to just take our time and explore once you're over there. But I think during the course of your program you have the time to kind of dabble into different stuff. So I think that's definitely important.
Okay, and like this is a basic, like, given I have two options, either Europe or US. So because you're there, like, is there anything, like, any inclination, like Europe is a good option or US is a good option? Like, not leaving all the scores and everything behind. Let's say hypothetically I have everything for going there. So Europe or US, that is my question.
I mean, I think it depends on a lot of different things. Europe is definitely closer to home, so it's easier to come back whenever you want to. US is further away. I think US has in Europe the most important thing is some of the places require you to learn their language. So like in Germany you would have to like you don't have to speak the language, but it's definitely beneficial. And then France and in Scandinavia and stuff like that. So I think learning the language is another good thing, and which is not something that you need to worry about when you come to the US, right? The US is pretty much. Um, I don't really know the visa specifications of Europe. I didn't really consider Europe as much. So I'm not the best person to ask about Europe. But yeah, I mean, there are definitely pros and cons. The courses in Europe, I think they can be about 1.5 years. I think they're a lot cheaper than US. But it depends on where you go. The quality of life is also like Boston is very expensive. It's a very expensive place to live in. Um, I'm currently in Atlanta. It's not that expensive, like when compared to Boston. Um, Europe, definitely, it depends on where you are. Can be if you're in a university, in like a university town, and you get a good scholarship and stuff, I know it's a lot cheaper. And sometimes they do waive off some tuition and stuff. So there's a lot of things to consider. I think you should make a pros and cons Excel sheet, and kind of really look through what the programs have to offer. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much. And like if you're interested in pharmacology, I would look at like specific universities and what courses, like what exact modules they have.
Mhm.
and what you will actually learn. And those could be different between Europe and US. Again, I didn't look at the courses in Europe, so I don't want to tell you stuff that's not actually true. So yeah.
Right. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Saidi. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Neil, for the question. Saili, can you just put forward, like, for everybody's interest, that how it was like to get, like, the amount you invested to the earnings you had in past few years, were they, like, meeting the match? Like, if somebody is coming over loan, like, this question is going to happen through the student. Like, in benefit of time, I just thought that I should put it forward. So how much it is that rewardful?
Yeah, so I would say it differs from people to people. I would say it differs from like the kind of job you do after. So if you if you do, I know that most, like Sneha, for example, I don't think you guys know, she joined industry right after her masters. Aditya joined industry. So a lot of, and most of the people, like most of them are not doing their PhD, right? So most of them joined industry, and so for them, they were able to kind of pay off their loans because industry pays a lot more. I wanted to do my PhD, so I joined an academic lab in order to get more publications, try to learn more skills, and kind of build my resume uh, in that aspect. So I wouldn't say like I didn't have a very high earning job. And currently I'm doing a PhD, so I'm on a student stipend. So I wouldn't say I've been earning a lot in the past few years. But I mean, my stipend is enough for me to live comfortably, to have a pretty good life, to eat good food and stuff. So I would say definitely it depends on what you want to do, and like where you live also.
Yes,
Like
correct.
Boston quality of life is a little higher, but then the pay is also higher. If you live in San Francisco, that's super expensive because the pay is according to what people in IT get paid. But if you're in smaller cities, you're able to pay back your loan a lot faster because your rent is lower and stuff like that. So I think it depends on what route you go.
So having a clear goal really helped you, I think. It really
Yeah,
helped you to figure out what you want to have further ahead.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sally. Limaye sir is about to ask you a question, Sally. Over to you, Limaye sir.
Yeah, hello, Saili. You can hear
Yeah.
me?
Yes.
Saili, very good information. My
Yeah.
question is very general. Looking at visa restrictions and whatever Trump has brought in, now you have different precedents. But what is your advice to students? Is it now as easy as you were, situation was long back after completing your master's, or has it become difficult?
I would say it's still quite easy because they still want students to come in because we're a good source of revenue. So I would say it's still like if you are from a good university in undergrad, which all of you are, and then if you're trying to go to a good accredited university for your masters, and if like they don't really, if you go to like a very random place, I would say that's the real issue. Usually it's not too much of an issue. They don't usually cancel your visa, and then if you have like your documents in order, your financial documents in order and everything, it should be fine. Actually, coincidentally, my visa has been expired. I just haven't been able to come back to India to renew it. But I think now with COVID, the most important issue is how to get an appointment at the consulate. That's probably the toughest issue. But by the time you guys all apply and stuff, it should be fine. But I don't think it's I haven't personally heard of anyone having an issue if they're going to a good university and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Saili.
Yes, students, questions, please.
You can put your question in chat board also, not an issue. Those who would like to ask the question,
Oh,
you can put
anything?
we'll take the questions on behalf of you. You can unmute yourself, you can ask also. Both options available.
Sir, by the time students are asking questions, let me ask one more quick
Yes, sir.
question to
Yes, sir.
Saili.
Please,
Yes, sir.
please, sir.
Yeah.
Please.
Saili, now we have a good team in MIT. You are aware of most of the professors and entire atmosphere. You have worked in various labs in USA. What do you think of if you want to set up a laboratory like this in MIT? Will it be too difficult? What is your advice to us faculty members?
Yeah. I think I've worked, which is actually I've only worked in academic labs, so that's definitely quite interesting. Um, I would say the scale of the stuff that I was doing here was kind of like when I was in undergrad, I didn't really have the knowledge base that I do now, definitely. So I feel like the kind of impactful research that I personally wanted to do was definitely different. But I think in MIT, I definitely got the kind of push that I needed to be pushed into the right direction. Like I think my scientific curiosity was there, but it needed to be nurtured, which was I was quite all over the place when I was an undergrad, but I think it was very well channeled. Um, I think in terms of trying to characterize more stuff, maybe like more animal studies, more access to more like mouse work and stuff like that. I don't know, like I think it depends on the focus of the research also. Like I have strictly worked in immunology labs, so a lot of like flow cytometry and a lot of that kind of infrastructure, which I mean, since it's not the focus of at MIT, so then there's no reason to have those instruments. But I think one way to kind of diversify the research would be to try to do more different kind of things. Like, oh, if genetics is something that people want to be doing, then try to get some of those elements in. And I know that, like, do you guys now have autonomy to choose what is in the coursework, since now you're uh,
Yeah.
Actually, basic primary thing is given by PCI, but obviously we can add on to whatever we want to add.
Okay. I think
Um,
I think in terms of the kind of research that is being carried out in the US is definitely more genetics focused, more immunology focused, more like sequencing, more trying to understand the human genome or like signaling pathways and stuff like that. So and like most of the students when they move here, those are the kind of labs that they will join. And so I think introducing those concepts in coursework will be very important to give them a head start on at least the coursework of the research that is carried out here.
right.
I think it's very difficult to get that kind of infrastructure because it's super expensive. So that's definitely not something that's, if it's feasible, that's perfect. Or if you guys can collaborate with like the engineering department or the biotech department or something, and if they have those, and you guys can take like a field trip to show them those kind of things.
Right, right.
Okay, Saili.
Actually,
Okay.
Limaye sir has come up with a new idea of a finishing school. Like after your graduation, you should have a month or two on as a finishing school to whatever you want to reach to, like to whatever you want to go ahead with. So that type of stuff probably can be added in that coursework where the finishing school will be talking about immunology or microbiology or something like that. More hands-on over it will be helpful,
Yeah.
I think. I have noted this point. Thank you so much for the insight.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Madam, there are some questions in chat board. Can you take it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, Saili, this is a question from Suyash Bagad. He is asking that can you please elaborate on various jobs available over their pay scales? So, like probably the question is similar to the loan aspect, like those students who are coming up with the loan. On a timeline, can you just like grossly, can you just tell like 4 years, 5 years, what timeline it takes to really pay off the loans comfortably?
Yeah. So
And the pay scales also, like that is the most tempting thing for the students to know. And the pay scales really encourage them to lead to a particular profession.
Yeah, I would say usually if you join industry after your masters, you usually get about like $50,000 to $60,000 a year. And so I think the loan, I mean, you have to also account for rent and like all that kind of stuff, and like how much loan you're taking, and those are variable when it comes to people. I would say
Absolutely.
like maybe like two 2 years, 3 years, 3 4 years. Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah.
Comfortable enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another question is from, I'll just check the name. He is asking about that if you can throw some light on business studies. Like you are already into research, but you might be having some friends who were along with you into business studies or something. So can you just elaborate a bit on it?
So none of my, like most of my friends joined research.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so my brother, incidentally,
Yeah.
he's almost done with his masters, but he's kind of interested in business. So over the last year with the pandemic, you can't really do much. So over the summer, he did like an extension school online course in business. And his during his undergrad, he also got like a business minor. So I feel like if you guys are interested in business, there are definitely outlets for that on Coursera and like other free stuff where you can look and try to figure out. And they are free courses, so you don't have to pay. If you join the course and you think that business is not for you, you can just leave it. Um, but yeah, a lot of people after masters, or they try to do an MBA much later in life. So you usually join a company and then you work for a couple of years, and then sometimes the company will pay for part of your MBA, which is probably the best way to go about it because MBA is super expensive. um and then some people will go for an MBA in a couple of years. There's a lot of different, like you can join consulting, which is kind of close to business stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can do.
Right. This was from Chirayu. I think Chirayu, she has answered it well. There is another question from Sanyukta. She's currently our MPharm student, and she has almost completed her degree. Like she's in the second year of MPharm. So her question is like, is she very late to think about getting into US, or is it okay to have MS even now and then go for the PhD and all? Like,
Not at all. I mean, it's never late. I
yeah,
think
it's never late.
a lot of people do get their masters in India and then come here for another masters, or come here for a PhD. So yeah, I mean, you can definitely come here. It's not I think in the US it's not like in India where it's like you go one degree after another. A lot of people take their time and work and stuff like that. There's a lot of people of different ages doing whatever degree. So I don't think it's as linear as it is in India. So it's never late. And I mean, if anything, your application is now stronger because you already have a master's.
Yeah. So another question again is from Neil. He's asking that is it really beneficial to have a review or a research article on the same stuff you want to pursue MS in, like same subject if you want to pursue MS in, if your review and research paper, whatever you have published, is it beneficial to have to, or it doesn't matter much?
I wouldn't say it matters too much for a master's degree, but it definitely helps. I think what having a publication or a review shows is that you know how to do research, which is what they want to see. Um, but definitely not important. I mean, most people don't have publications. I think it's important if you're trying to do a PhD. I don't think it's very important for a master's. I mean, most people don't have publications. So I think and most people here who have done their undergrad here also, like some of them do, but I don't think it's very important. And definitely not important that it has to be in the same field.
Yeah.
It can't be
So,
something random, like you can't publish in rocket science and then try to do, yeah, but if
so
it's in the sciences, it's fine.
any publication in pharmaceutical lines will
Yeah,
surely
should,
help
yeah,
equally in
yeah.
all the further divisions of pharmaceuticals.
But certainly
Correct.
it added a value in your
Yes, yes, that is what she
it's a
said,
value
that
addition,
having a publication
Yeah,
is
it
always good.
definitely helps.
value addition.
It definitely helps, but it's not a requirement.
Yeah, and it is not necessary. Like I think our like the work me and Saili did together was more of a Ayurvedic formulation, and what she got into is into pharmacology. So
Yes,
it didn't restricted, but yes, it enhanced her capacities or to understand somebody who does not know you to the university that you are good at research. It is really
knowledge
helpful.
always help. Knowledge always help.
Yes.
You keep on learning. That is very important. I think one of the
Yes.
professor, Dr. Amol Tangarpalliwar, he recently joined our organization. He
Okay.
to ask some questions. Madam, can you take this question? Shall I take?
Yes, Amol sir is asking that if you can help us guide that how can we strengthen the department? We have all the 4 departments with enabling the laboratories to be more equipped. So I think it will be helpful if you can just tell us like what 4 things in Sutics departments can really improve our performance in Sutics, 4 things in like whatever as per your experience.
Yeah, I think complementing coursework with lab stuff is definitely, like, I think if you learn something in lab in course and then you go and do that exact same thing in the lab, it definitely stays. Most people are visual learners and most people are like practical stuff, and I think the program is definitely geared towards that. I would say just trying to be more with the times. I think trying to understand what kind of research is being carried out in other countries, or even like other institutes in the US, maybe like trying to form collaborations with other institutes in India, like trying to do stuff with IISc, like they have a really good infrastructure, right? Or like trying to do stuff with NCL. They obviously have all the equipment, or like
Absolutely.
Pune University and stuff. So instead of maybe like having to invest in a couple of lakhs of rupees and stuff, I think that would be good. Yeah.
Yeah. With being in the private university, and now we are being like quite a bit in research, we are getting good grants. Like just for your side of information, we are getting a good amount of grants. Like we have our cancer lab ready, wherein we have fluorescent microscope and a lot many other necessary. We have animal tissue culture and all those stuff. So I really hope that for your visa you need to come back and do visit the institute. That will be like a great to give us a greater insight about the
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
yeah. Yes, students, any other questions, please?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Hello, this is Pranit. I just have to ask that how can we build a good profile after our bachelor's? How can we build that thing?
In terms of what, like, what do you want to?
Academic. She actually wanted to
Our academic profile.
For
After
admission.
your bachelor's to go for your like, are you trying to take time off between your bachelor's and your master's?
Yeah, like I want to work for some time, and does our chances get less for accepting in the university after we work here?
No. So I think if anything, it'll build your stuff. It depends on what you're doing also. I think if you want to do business stuff and then you're working in the admin side, then that's good, right? Then that shows that you have practical knowledge in that. If you want to do research, then do an internship, or like work in a research lab for a year. I think those are the 2 main things you can do. And like study, if you're taking a year, then that gives you longer time to study for your GRE, and study for your TOEFL if you want to increase your score.
Yeah. That's good. Saili, I would like to ask, like, I still remember you used to play, I think, tennis.
Yeah.
And has this thing really helped to support your SOP to be more strengthened? Like, how co-curricular, extracurricular really contribute to building your profile?
Yeah, so I did a bunch of I wouldn't say that sports was like the thing that I did. I did a bunch of volunteering.
Right.
So I worked for CRY, which is Child Rights and You, and so I worked with them for 2 years. Um, and yeah, and then once I moved here, when I was trying to apply, like when I didn't actually know I was going to apply, but then I did apply for my PhD. I did a bunch of mentoring and stuff here, so that definitely helps. If you guys can mentor students in like their first year, or I think that also gives you a good, I think the best way to learn anything is to teach it to someone, because then you have to simplify it, and then the questions that you're asked, that really and like all the teachers can account for that, right? It's just the best way to understand something is definitely to teach it. So I think that's good. There's a bunch of volunteering options. I don't know how it is with COVID now, but that definitely helped. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you just point down, there's a question from Neil, that can you just point down few points which can really enhance the SOP? Like just on a
Yeah.
pointer?
I think for your SOP, it's important to show that you're a well-rounded person, and that you had your scientific curiosity from a young age. I think that's very important. Like, I don't know what the application stuff for Europe is. I'm assuming it's kind of the same, but for the US, they really value someone who kind of knew their path, but then also has like a kind of inspirational story, or like is a well-rounded person. So I think for your SOP, it's important to show how you started, why you're doing what you're doing, what value you're going to bring to the university, what value the university will bring to you. um, and yeah, like just really talk them through your journey of research. Yeah.
Yeah. That was nice to know, Saili. It is like you have taken a lot of time out on a off day, particularly. You might have
No worries.
a lot of stuff to do at the back end, managing all the things by yourself.
No.
Students, are there any other questions? Actually, Saili, you are in the group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in the group.
Yes.
Already we started.
So you can actually directly text her on WhatsApp, telling your name and class, which class you belong to, and then she can really get back to you as her time permits. Early morning on a Sunday, really difficult for her. Like, it is a thing, you have to be very, I have seen these girls being very keen on their routine. They're very keen on whatever they wanted to achieve, and really feel very good about, you have done really, like the journey you have made very smooth, because you had a vision to achieve it. It was wonderful talking to you, Saili. It was
Thank you.
really wonderful.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, and if you guys have any questions, you can text on the group and I'll reply.
Yes, and also I would request you on behalf of Limaye sir and the MIT WPU School of Pharmacy, I would like to request you if you can send us with a document saying that these 4 things for Sutix lab, these 4 things for Cology, Cognosy, and other labs, because you have seen a bigger picture. We really would like to, at least reach to the standards where all our students who are more mostly we have got a very dynamic batches throughout. So all those, they should get the right exposure. They should not feel left out over when they come to international standards. So I think this one thing I will surely request you to do for us.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else, Pulshetiwar sir, from your side?
No, side. Actually, yes, Saili, I have some questions regarding because many students are, asking what is the best score, GRE score to get admission with the best university and all. So can you just
Yeah.
give your thought process on that regarding the score?
Yeah, so the GRE is out of 340. I
Yes.
think if your academics are strong, anything above like, I think above 300 is definitely
Yes.
just, you absolutely have to.
Yeah.
I think anything beyond that is then depends on how strong the rest of your application is. And TOEFL, I want to say there's a cutoff for most universities. So the TOEFL is out of 120, and
Yes.
all the 4 sections are 30 points each.
Yes.
And some universities will have cutoffs for the total score, and some universities will have specific group cutoffs. So, like, they want your speaking to be above 25,
Great.
or they want your writing to be above 25. And that stuff so the GRE score they won't really say explicitly on their website, but their TOEFL score they will in like their admission requirements.
Do they
Most
consider both the score? Yeah, only one score student will get admissions.
No, you need to do both. You need
That's
to do
compulsory.
both because that kind of addresses two different things. With TOEFL, they just want you to have a good command over the language.
Great.
And then I think there are provisions for if your TOEFL score isn't as good, and if your native language isn't English, then
Okay.
you can go, and then they have like a course or something. Most universities do that, where they will teach you some modulation of English that will help you push that. So I
Yes.
don't think not having a command over the language should stop anyone. And I think it's very important to just be confident. Yeah.
Yes, last question I would ask actually, so what are the best course you would like, because now you are in USA, you're pursuing PhD. So which course, which particular subject would like to suggest for our student for their better prospects? As per your, experience that you achieve up till now.
I think the two most famous ones for research are pharmaceutical sciences and pharmacology. And then there's a lot of like different business stuff, which again I'm not. I think Shraddha probably had a better insight
Yes,
into
yes,
the
yes.
business stuff. I've never wanted to do business stuff, so I've never looked into that. But yeah, I think if you want to do research stuff, then pharmaceutics and pharmacology will, because I mean, at the end of the day, you're kind of doing very similar research. So yeah.
And which university you would like to suggest? Just for in USA, a number of universities are there, but which university you would like to suggest for our students to pursue?
Yeah. I mean, I think
Any
there's a
five
lot
you
of,
can take name.
yeah.
Pharmacy.
Yeah, Northeastern is very good for pharmacy. Sunny Buffalo is very good.
Yes.
USC is good, but I know that it's kind of hard to get into. Um, the university I'm at currently, Emory, they don't have pharmaceutics, but I have moved away from pharmaceutics,
Yes.
so I don't do that. It's definitely more like translational and medical sciences. Yeah, so what other, I'm trying to think of the other university. I know that Long Island University is
Yes,
also
yes.
good.
Yeah.
Um,
Nebraska, I think.
Nebraska is there. Yeah, many students are opted for that also.
yeah.
Most of the students opting.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of them, and you can
Yeah.
yeah.
Second home of MIT, I can say. It's an extension of MIT.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of let me think. Yeah, I can look through the schools.
You just list out the university name also, along with that whatever the Aarti madam has suggested. Definitely forward this kind of cooperation from you as our proud alumni. Really, it's a really great moment for us. You are all students. We are having this kind of interaction. We will look forward this kind of session. Okay, more session.
Yeah. Definitely. No, thanks.
This is from my side. Just Sastry ma'am, you can take it.
Yes. Sally, it will be also great if someday you find some time to describe what research you are into. That will surely give insight to the students that how way ahead you have gone, and how fascinating it is. So it is always, it becomes when your alumni speaks, it is a very resonating type of a feeling for every student. So that is one thing I will request. Whenever you can just drop me a message, ma'am. I would be having a session.
I have time right now. I can discuss.
I think
it
it is a transformation of energy into synergy. Transformation of energy into synergy. Okay, students are getting motivated, inspired by these words of wisdom.
Yes, but the students which we have, these are the students who will be trying to aspire for MS. Yes. We do not have those who are genuinely, like those who are also interested. Yeah. So I will schedule a proper one more session only to know what research you have done and how how you have scaled your height. It is wonderful, Saili. I request everybody, Pulsheti, sir.
Madam, we will take 2-3 comments, student feedback, ma'am.
Yes, surely we will take.
So anyone would like to give the comment on this today's session? Just as a
I think Neil has asked quite a few questions. Neil, can you just come up with the feedback so that she gets a live information please, about the inputs she have given?
Please, Neil. Yeah. 1 or 2 comments, not more than that. Definitely, it will be added value in our alumni talk.
Neil, are you there?
Anyone, anyone would like to voluntarily give the feedback? Yeah, Jivika Naik is there. Please, Jivika Naik.
Yes.
Yeah. Could you speak your mind, please?
So it was really inspiring to hear about your story and how like you shifted from different fields of study and how you've like gone into more of the immunology and more of the genome sequencing and all of that. So it was really nice to speak to you, and I mean you're like our alumni, so it's really inspiring to know your story. So, and thank you so much. I know it must be a little bit of an inconvenience for you to spend your morning coaching us, but it's really helpful for us. So thank you so much.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah.
Any one more comments, please? We are in the anyone, please. I could see Shalaka Abhankar. Please, could you give a value comments, feedback about the takeaway of this session? Okay, Shastri Madam, you can just conclude. Yeah, please.
Sir, can you just take a photograph of everybody?
Yes, I'll take photograph. Already I've taken snap, but I'll take with the students. Please, student, can you just put on your camera? We'll take just one as a.
Yes, just one click to document that we had this thing.
So yeah, please, students, just put on your camera. I could see 19 students are there still. Yeah. Just for a moment for taking snap. Yeah.
Yes. Pulsheti, sir, please.
Yes, I'll take them.
Yes. Thank you so much. On the behalf of School of Pharmacy, MIT WPU, on the behalf of all the alumnus, the alumni coordination, on behalf of the dean, all the faculties, the students who look forward for the alumni to speak out, I thank you absolutely from bottom of my heart for spending this time and enlightening my students. Their journey is going to be as great as yours was because you have spoken to them. So it really matters a lot for us when you come back to the alma mater. So do keep in touch, and it is always great. So few of the students might ping you after the session to know more about the thing, and I'm sure you are as always there to help us out. Thank you so much for your valuable time, Saili.
Thank you,
Pulsheti, sir.
Yeah,
I also thank Shivaya Madam to organize all this at a very easy pace. Thank you, Shivaya Madam, for that, and everybody who has participated and taken out Sunday time. I'm really grateful to them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Saili, for your sparing your valuable time. You have given a lot of trouble.
No worries.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Shastri Madam, for nice coordination. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Thank you, Saili. Thank you.
Yes, Shivaya Madam, she is coordinating all the activity. Now she is coordinator. So
Okay.
she has
Thank
done
you, Mr.
wonderful job, ma'am. Thank you, Shivai madam, for such
Thank
a
you,
arrangement.
thank you, sir and madam. तुम्ही मला खूप मदत केली
नाही
त्यासाठी.
सगळ्यांचं
Very
it's a
nice.
teamwork. Always Shastri madam,
Yes,
all.
sir.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
madam.
much, sir.
Yeah, we are
You
closing
can-
the
yes,
meeting
Yes,
with
yes.
all our blessings. Thank you.
Yes.
Take care.
Thank you
Bye.
so much. Yeah, bye.